we count down to the International Migrants Day. We all know that this year's theme is Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy, protecting their rights as well. Ladies and gentlemen, before we will do our formal introduction, we will request that you all have your seats as we thrill you to an amazing theatrical performance by Alfie Nze. This operatic performance is called Nesun Dorma. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please celebrate these talented artists with a round of applause? Please, let's celebrate them. Thank you.
I say nobody should speak until the identities of these people are revealed.
Who are these people and what are they doing in our country?
Many of them are migrants.
My name is Joseph. I am a Nigerian and Congolese cloth maker. Without me, the world will go naked.
I am Anima. We are professors of letters. Without us, the world will be soulless.
I am Anthony from Cameroon. I am a carpenter. I make beds and chairs so our backs will be stronger.
My name is Zainab, an international relations student. We study the present so that our relations will be founded on trust.
I am Ahmed. I am a trader. I travel east, west, north, and south, and I sell to all as they come.
I am Jide, and I am a physician. And though I heal people and others, my own health is in the hands of my neighbor. We come, all of us, students, engineers, from carpenters to traders to writers, each from various African countries. You see, we come because of the good name of your nation. We live and work contributing to the growth of Nigeria. We ask that the value of migration be a global issue. Now we are you, and you are us.
Stelle all'alba vincerà, vincerà,
So, who are they?
They are Unikotele, and their name is designed in love.
Tramontate stelle,
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please appreciate those talented artists one more time? Please let's clap for them. Thank you very, very much. Before they came up on stage, I was telling you that today's dialogue aims at speaking about the rights of refugees and migrants. We will also be discussing how their impact will drive development across the world. We all know that Nigerians are very, very much respected for the strides that they have achieved in different countries. We know how our medical doctors and our surgeons, as well as technicians and entertainers, are making the country proud as migrants in the various countries where they go to. At this point, if you are a Nigerian and you are proud, can you please help me and appreciate yourself with a round of applause? Thank you very, very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going into our recognitions, and standing beside me is my colleague whom I will be doing this with. My name is Jonathan Ame. I am proudly Nigerian. I am from one of Nigeria's oil-producing regions, ladies and gentlemen. I am from Kogi State. We produce palm oil. And of course, very, very little crude oil as well. I will be one of the servants of the ceremony from the podium here, and I'll be working alongside my colleague who will introduce himself right now.
Thank you very much. My name is Ben 200, half human, half amazing. It's an honor to be here today. Well, I actually decided to start emceeing after working on the radio station for 3 days without success. I was recruited on a Friday and I resigned on a Monday. You can call me a migratory worker. I was put on the night shift and I was wondering who watches TV at night. And on that Monday morning when I resigned and I was leaving, I met this small boy at his mother and he tugged on my shirt and said, "Uncle, don't we see you in our TV?" And I told him, if you have a TV that can work well, you will see me. And he made known he was not ready to stop. He said, "Don't we see you sometimes in our radio?" I said, "Okay, if you watch radio at night, it's possible you can see me." But I wanted to go, but the boy was not done. He tugged at my shirt and said, "Uncle," I said, "one last question." He said, "When are we going to start seeing you in our fridge?" I said, "God forbid. You won't see me in your fridge." May I especially appreciate a few of our guests who are here. May I especially thank the representative of the German embassy in Nigeria. We have the first secretary, who's also the head of cooperation, Dr. Karen Johnson. You're welcome. Thank you very much. May I also especially appreciate the interim chief of Mission IOM, Madam Paula Pache. You're welcome. I also especially appreciate the head of region West Africa, Dr. Mojishola Shodeinde. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for her. Our royal fathers are greatly represented here, and we thank them for helping us to make our job easy. May I especially appreciate His Royal Highness, Professor Mohammed Sani Bako II, the Emir of Karshi. You're welcome, sir. Also with us here, we have His Royal Highness Abubakar Ahmed Yakubu, the Eje of Ankpa in Kogi State. You're welcome. Thank you very much for the honor. We have also with us here His Royal Highness Abubakar Ahmed Sabo, the Emir of Loko in Nasarawa State. You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, continuing from where my colleague left up, I want to recognize very quickly the presence of Mrs. Melissa Barina Sandoval from the U.S. Embassy. Can we please appreciate her? We're glad to have you here. Thank you very much. Also from GIZ, we have Sandra Vermitten. We appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. I also want us to especially appreciate the Deputy Head of Cooperation, the Team Leader and Head of Section, Governance, Peace and Security, as well as Migration. We have Mr. Ruben Alba Aguilera with us. Can we please appreciate him? Thank you very much. At this point, I want us to specially celebrate the presence of our keynote speaker who is here seated. Can we please give a round of applause for the immediate past Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies at the Supreme Court Complex here in Abuja. He is one of Nigeria's most revered and celebrated professors of law. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please honor Professor M.T. Ladan with a round of applause.
While we are still celebrating distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we want to specially appreciate the Nasarawa State Government, who's graciously represented here, both in the audience, and they have also brought for us a troupe that will be giving us some cultural entertainment. Can we therefore welcome the Nasarawa State Cultural Troupe as they give us some grassroots music and performance. Please put your hands together for them.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Can I please appreciate them one more time? One thing that we pride ourselves about in Nigeria is the beauty of our culture. From the taste of our delicious delicacies to the fabrics and embroideries on our beautiful attires and also our energetic dance steps, it shows that Nigeria is a country which is blessed, and we are also proud to showcase our culture to the world at every given opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be thrilling you to another dance from our national troupe. This dance will be a one that unites Nigeria. They will be giving us a unity dance as well. But ladies and gentlemen, can we please especially appreciate Afri Theatre as they come to showcase their talents, energy, and also the beauty of the Nigerian cultural heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please appreciate them one more time? All right, thank you very much, the troop. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please appreciate the troop? Ladies and gentlemen, this is announcing the arrival of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can we please specially welcome Senator Kashim Shettima with a round of applause. GCON. While we are on our feet, we will take the national anthem of the greatest country in the world, the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Please, you may take your seats. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, who is heavily represented here today by the House Committee Chairman on Energy, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, Honorable Rahim Tunji Olawiye. Your Excellencies, Executive Governors here present and those who are represented, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Nantawi Goshui Yilwata, and other members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the Head of Cooperation and First Secretary of the German Embassy and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, the UN Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, the Interim Chief of Mission for the International Organization of Migration, the Head of ICMPD West Africa. May I also specially recognize and appreciate the effort of the Honorable Federal Commissioner, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, Honorable Tijani Aliu Ahmed. May I ask that we put our hands together for him. Distinguished invited guests and participants, heads of CSOs, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather to explore a theme that resonates deeply in our interconnected world beyond borders. Celebrating migrant legacy, protecting their rights, migration has always been a testament to the human resilience, ambition, and the enduring desire to seek better opportunities. And migrants enrich the cultures they join, they fuel the economies and spark innovation, yet they often face immense challenges, discrimination, and violation of their fundamental rights. Today, however, we are turning the pages, and we are celebrating the invaluable contributions of migrants. We'll also commit to creating a world where dignity and rights are upheld, and our collective responsibility to be moved beyond borders of prejudice, apathy, and fostering unity, understanding, and equity for all. Today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our focus majorly will be to check what the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons stands as the guiding light in this journey, charting pathways that connect lives, restore dignity, and advocate for the rights of those navigating these turbulent waters. Like skilled navigators, the effort of the Commission ensures that migrants and displaced persons have a safe passage through the storms of uncertainty and offering guidance, protection, and a welcoming hand in this journey. I will ask, however, that we especially celebrate the work they have done and the promise that they represent. Can we clap for the Commission, please? To begin, therefore, permit me to welcome, to invite the one who has sat at our meetings and thought out desires, met with the challenges on the field, but has held high the hope of both the migrant, connecting the hope of those who have been failed and those who have been challenged to the renewed hope agenda of this administration. May I therefore invite, for the opening remarks, the Honorable Federal Commissioner for the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, our own Honorable Tijani Aliu Ahmed. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Kasim Shettima, the Deputy Speaker, National Assembly, other distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly here present, His Excellency, the National State Governor, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, other representatives of His Excellencies, the Governor of Katsina, Niger, Cross River, Kano State, and Plateau State, Honorable Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction, my minister and the chief host of this very honorable gathering, Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, representative of service chiefs, His Royal Highnesses here present, my colleagues, heads of agencies, vice chancellors, and director of the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa, humanitarian partners, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with a deep sense of purpose and gratitude that I welcome you all to this 10th National Migration Dialogue, a decade-long tradition that has become a cornerstone of Nigeria's migration governance framework. Since 2014, this platform has provided an invaluable space for reflecting on our migration journey, celebrating progress, and forging innovative strategies to address emerging challenges. This year's theme, Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy, protecting their rights, align perfectly with the global theme for International Migrants' Day, honoring the contributions of migrants and respecting their rights. It challenges us to not only recognize the extraordinary resilience of migrants, but also to commit to safeguarding their dignity and rights. Over the years, the National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons has demonstrated unwavering dedication to meeting the needs of all categories of migrants, including internally displaced persons, refugees, asylum seekers, and returnees. Migration is not only a story of displacement or return, but also one of resilience, innovation, and contributions to society. Nigeria assumes the chairmanship of the Euro-African Dialogue on Migration and Development, the REPAD process in 2025, we are uniquely positioned to highlight the invaluable contribution of African migrants to global development. This platform will also allow us to advocate for enhanced protection and rights of migrants. Nigeria takes pride in its vibrant and industrious diaspora community, whose members not only make significant contributions to the development of their host communities, countries, but also remain deeply connected to their heritage and homeland. In the United States, Nigerian Americans have distinguished themselves through exceptional achievements. Their median income is reportedly higher than the national average and surpasses that of several other ethnic groups. Furthermore, 29% of Nigerian Americans hold graduate degrees, a remarkable statistic compared to the 11% recorded for the overall US population. These accomplishments underscore the importance of education and resilience within the Nigerian diaspora. To leverage this contribution for national development, the government of Nigeria has adopted and continues to refine key migration-related policies. This includes the National Diaspora Policy 2021, the National Policy on Labor Migration 2022 and 2020, and the ongoing review of the 2015 National Migration Policy under the leadership of the Commission and the Technical Working Group on Migration and Development. This policy review seeks to address emerging migration trends and align with the objectives of the Global Compact for Migration. These efforts are a testament to Nigeria's commitment to fostering effective migration governance and maximizing the developmental benefits of migration for its citizens. Nigeria faces a monumental challenge with displacement figures now exceeding 6 million internally displaced persons. This includes individuals uprooted by armed banditry, Boko Haram insurgency, climate change-induced displacement as a result of environmental factors such as erosion, desertification, landslides, floods, droughts, and heat waves, as well as those affected by flooding in the southeast, south-south, and southwest regions. In response, we are unwavering in our determination to address these pressing issues. Our efforts are focused on developing strategies for providing durable solutions to the displaced in close collaboration with the relevant stakeholders. To this end, we are actively formulating a national action plan aligned with the national policy on internally displaced persons. However, this critical undertaking demands significant support, including technical expertise, interagency cooperation, and adequate funding to ensure effective and sustainable interventions that can restore hope and stability to affected populations. On internal displacement, the Commission, as the lead agency on the provision of durable solutions, has in addition the regular distribution of food and non-food items to IDP camps, developed critical programs to address the challenges of IDPs. For instance, the settlement city projects in Edo, Zamfara, Borno, Katsina, Kano, and Nasarawa State stand as a testament to our commitment to providing durable solutions. Zero settlement cities offer displaced families a fresh start, complete with access to housing, water and sanitation, healthcare, education, markets, and mini-scale acquisition centers. This goes to ensure an efficient reintegration, resettlement, and readmission of IDPs. In addition, the Renewed Hope Agricultural Empowerment Program for the internally displaced person is delivering vital livelihood support to internally displaced persons and refugees through innovative agricultural initiative. Now, in its second phase, the project is being implemented in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. This approach is designed to foster economic recovery and promote self-reliance among displaced populations. The project was officially launched in Nasarawa State on the 27th of July, 2024, and has since expanded to Kwal, Bassa local government in Plateau State, and in Maiduguri, Borno State, where 500 hectares of land were cultivated by 1,000 refugees and IDPs across the 3 states. Just last week, the Commission, under the able supervision of the Honorable Minister and State Minister of Humanitarian Affairs flagged up the bumper harvest in Maiduguri and Plateau State, respectively. It will interest His Excellency to note that the Commission will be signing an MOU on Wednesday, the 11th of December, 2024, with the Nigerian Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, for the development of land across 10 states of the Federation to cultivate over 10,000 hectares of farmland for the production of different crops. Equally, the Commission is on the verge of constructing a skill acquisition center in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, where refugees, displaced youth, and women will be trained in viable and sustainable arts and crafts that will enable them fend for themselves and restore their livelihood in dignity. Most importantly, the Commission has always ensured that displaced persons are provided with counseling and mental health and psychosocial support to stabilize and bring them out of their traumatized condition resulting from different displacement driving factors. The Commission has continued to organize medical outreaches in different camps and host communities across the country to reduce the spread of different diseases and curtail the high level of maternal and mortality rates in IDP camps. Within the educational ecosystem, the Commission has established transitional learning centers equipped with key learning facilities across IDP camps and host communities to educate displaced children. It has also adopted the accelerating learning model to bridge the gap resulting from the time lost between living place of origin and arrival at present location of camp or host community. The Commission has equally renovated several schools within host communities across the country to create seamless process of social inclusion between IDPs and people living within the host communities. Nigeria continues to uphold its commitment to protecting refugees and asylum seekers, currently hosting over 100,000 individuals under these categories. Working closely with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the Commission has ensured that refugees and asylum seekers have access to legal protection, essential services, and identity documentation. In the same vein, I commend the Nigerian Immigration Service for its innovative initiative in instituting the e-migrants registration. This program ensures the documentation of all migrants residing in Nigeria, thereby providing a robust, proactive framework that upholds their rights while promoting safe and orderly migration. On the voluntary repatriation of Nigerian refugees, the Commission has identified a total of 53,000 Nigerian refugees residing in Cameroon, 14,000 in Niger, and 21,000 in Chad. Out of this number, 14,000 Nigerian refugees in Cameroon have expressed their willingness to return home, with 7,000 specifically seeking an unconditional return. These figures underscore the scale of task at hand. The Commission is currently developing strategies to facilitate the safe and dignified return of these refugees, while highlighting the pressing need for increased funding and material support to enhance its capacity to fulfill its critical national mandate effectively. Beyond institutional effort, we have also benefited from the remarkable generosity of well-meaning Nigerians whose contribution have made a significant impact. Allow me to specifically acknowledge Mr. Alien Onyema, who through Air Peace Nigeria has often airlifted Nigerians in distress, frequently at no cost to the government. Similarly, the Dangote Foundation has provided critical support to returnees through the provision of onward transportation allowances to the returned migrants. The Commission's partnership with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and other stakeholders drawn from government and civil society has enabled the return and reintegration of no fewer than 10,500 stranded Nigerian migrants. These efforts have demonstrated our commitment to ensuring that returnees are not only brought home safely, but are also empowered to integrate successfully into their communities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to express my profound gratitude to our partners, including the International Organization for Migration, IOM, the United Nations Commissioner for Refugees, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, GIZ, IRARA, and many others for their invaluable support. I also extend our heartfelt appreciation to individuals like Mr. Allen Onyema and organizations like the Dangote Foundation for their extraordinary contribution to migration management in Nigeria. Equally, the Commission extends its warm compliment to the World Bank for identifying with it in the implementation of the Solution for Internally Displaced and Host Communities, otherwise known as SOLID project. As we celebrate this 10th National Migration Dialogue, let us recommit to creating a future where migrants are celebrated for their legacies and supported through comprehensive protections. Together, we can build a migration framework that transcends borders and uphold the dignity and rights of all. Thank you, and I wish you all productive deliberation.
We appreciate you, Honorable Tijani Aliyu Ahmed. Thank you very much for that goodwill message. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to specially recognize the presence of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Can we please specially celebrate Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu with a round of applause? We're glad to have you here, sir. Thank you. The Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, is today ably represented by one of her special assistants. We have Mrs. Olari Folami in the house. We appreciate you. Can we please appreciate her with an applause? Thank you very much. I also want to recognize the presence of the Chairman and CEO of NIDCOM, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa. Can we please celebrate her? Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed and take some goodwill messages. First on my list, I want to make welcome the Deputy Head of Cooperation, Team Leader, and Head of Section, Governance, Peace, and Security, as well as Migration. He is the leader of the European Union delegation right here. Can we please celebrate Ruben Alba Aguilera as he comes forward for his goodwill message.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. And on behalf of our ambassador designate, Mr. Gauthier Mignot, who is yet to present his letter of credentials, I will deliver this goodwill message on his behalf. It is a great pleasure and honor for the European Union to participate in the 2024 National Migration Dialogue under the theme Beyond Borders, Celebrating Migrants' Legacy, Protecting Their Rights. This timely theme underscores the critical contributions of migrants to societal progress while reaffirming our shared commitment to ensuring their rights and dignity. Migration dialogues, such as this one, are powerful tools for fostering governmental discussions and enhancing cooperation on migration policies at all levels, whether it's federal, state, or local level. And they offer a platform to shape effective national and state-level migration policies, advancing a more coordinated and sustainable migration governance framework. The European Union has been a long-standing partner in Nigeria's journey towards achieving improved migration management. We have supported the development and implementation of Nigeria's national migration policy, and since then, the federal government of Nigeria has made commendable progress in its implementation by reducing irregular migration, by enhancing border management, by promoting legal migration pathways, and combating trafficking in human beings and smuggling of migrants. Today, we gather to reflect on the successes achieved through our collective efforts, but also to reflect and discuss the challenges ahead. The European Union and its member states, working closely with Nigeria, have forged a strong partnership to address many of these challenges. It is important to emphasize that the vast majority of Nigerians migrate regularly through legal channels, and they contribute significantly to Nigerians' development and the prosperity of their host nations. The Nigerian diaspora is an engaged and vibrant force enriching communities across Europe and the world with their talent, their entrepreneurship, and their resilience. In recognition of the shared challenges and opportunities in migration, the European Union is pleased to announce today that we have recently signed 2 major projects to support Nigeria over the next period of 5 years. The first one, for an amount of 20 million, aims to contribute to Nigerian efforts in strengthening its overall migration governance framework through the scale-up of interventions aimed at enhancing migration management to assist returning migrants to achieve their improved economic, social, and psychosocial reintegration, while ensuring that migrants and communities make better informed decisions about migration. This program will be managed by the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and I sincerely hope that some of those people that were just mentioned by the Commissioner will be able to come back home and receive support thanks to this program. The second one, that will be managed by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, and the Spanish organization FIAP, for a total of 8 million euros, aims to improve Nigerians' response to trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants, building on existing capacities and cooperation to prevent, to protect, but also to prosecute. Beyond these measures, the European Union is dedicated to provide viable alternatives to irregular migration. We are funding initiatives that offer Nigerians legal pathways to Europe, safeguarding them from exploitation and trafficking in human beings. We also support programs designed to create sustainable employment opportunities within Nigeria, enabling individuals to build fulfilling lives and secure futures in their own communities. And that also includes support to IDPs and their host communities. Ladies and gentlemen, you know better than I do that the challenges of migration require collective action, sustained commitment, and the will to adapt to evolving realities. As we continue this vital work together, let us celebrate the invaluable contributions of migrants while reinforcing our commitment to their rights and well-being. I can assure you that the European Union remains committed in its partnership with Nigeria, working towards a future where migration is safe, legal, and dignified, reflecting the shared values of progress, humanity, and mutual respect. On behalf of the European Union, I would also like to express my sincere gratitude for the excellent partnership that united us, and I extend a special thanks to the dedicated staff of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, and other institutions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for their continued commitment and support. I wish you fruitful discussions during the event, and I thank you for your kind attention.
Please let us put our hands together for him. And I want us once more to appreciate the Vice President, who has a pressing issue. He has a litany of things to do today, but he has assured us that he is with us and he's going to stay with us today. Please clap for him. I especially appreciate all our guests who had just come in and those who had been seated. We had not recognized you. We apologize, but we want to especially thank distinguished Senator Aliu Ahmed Wadada, the Chairman Senate Committee on Public Accounts, who's also the Serkin Yakin Kefi. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you, sir. We want to also appreciate the Chairman House Committee on Solid Minerals and the Chairman Nasarawa Caucus of the House of Reps, Honorable Jonathan Befi Gaza. You're welcome. The Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission is with us, Dr. Tony Ojuku, SAN, OFR, Fellow Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, is also with us. Please put your hands together for him. May I appreciate Mrs. Rhoda Dia Johnson, who is the project manager of the ICMPD, representing the head of Region West Africa. Please put your hands together for her. May I especially appreciate all those who have been working to make sure that the results we see today, the things reeled out by our Honorable Commissioner Chief, the directors and heads of departments for the Commission. Please put your hands together for them. They have rarely been seated. They've been working hard to make sure that all we are doing is a success. Thank you very much. We had just gotten a message from outside saying that Honorable Commissioner deserves commendation for all the things that he has done, Your Excellency, for within a short time helping to complete the resettlement cities in Zamfara, Nasarawa, Kano, and Borno. He has also helped in the establishment of accelerated learning models for IDP children across camps and host communities. He has also helped and facilitated the establishment of skills acquisition centers in the 6 geopolitical zones, starting with Niger State for the North Central Zone. It worked hard for the distribution of food items and other relief materials in over 21 states affected by one sort of displacement or the other. And particularly for me is the key, the renewed hope agricultural empowerment, where lands have been provided and already tilling is going on in Borno, Plateau, and Nasarawa states. Thank you very much, sir, for doing a good job. Please, let's appreciate him. That is not outside the conducted several medical outreaches and advocacy programs and helping Nigeria to be chair of the Rabat process. Thank you very much for providing leadership on the African continent. We appreciate you. Thank you. Please, let's clap for him. We're taking a few goodwill message, but I just saw a professor once who brought me to University of Maiduguri, and he had told me to help them teach English for their younger year 1 students. I entered the class, I really was not in the mood to teach, so I just got there and I said, please, just assume that you are in a war situation and write for me a short story from your war experience. I had stayed there, I noticed one guy was not writing anything, so I walked up to him and I said, I told you to assume that you are in a war situation, and from your war experience, write for me a short story. The boy looked at me and said, sir, honestly, I died as soon as the war started. So there's no story for you today. We'll take another goodwill message, and this time, permit me to welcome the Interim Chief of Mission for the International Organization for Migration, Madam Paula Pache. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you very much. Permit me to stand on existing protocol, but still acknowledge the President, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria presence, Senator Shettima, also the Honorable Minister, Federal Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, the representative of other ministries such as Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Employment, as well as the Executive Governor here present and those represented, the Deputy Speaker of the House, the Honorable Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugee Migrants and IDPs that spoke very eloquently before me, as well as his team, the representative of the European Union delegation, of Germany, of the United States, other colleagues from the United Nations, from other embassies present here, other international organizations, as well as civil society. It's an honor for the International Organization for Migration to address you all today at the 2024 National Migration Dialogue. This year, we celebrate Beyond Borders, the incredible legacy, the incredible contribution that migrants give to society. Of course, when we talk about migration in Nigeria, we also look at internal migration and particularly internal displacement. So IOM has really worked with the Commission and all the authority at federal level as well as state level in order for Nigeria to really go ahead in terms of policy on internal displacement, as well as the advocacy for the domestication of the Kampala Convention, as well as the action plan for the implementation of the IDP policy. Of course, also the work on the ground to save life, that is really one of the pillars of the work of the International Organization for Migration, the UN specialized organization on migration, internal migration as well as international. We also have worked together in order to diminish the dependency of internally displaced persons on aid, because it's critical that we work towards pathways for durable solution. Migration-wise, in terms of return and reintegration, local integration or relocation, but also in terms of creating jobs for people to be able to rebuild their lives. So that's why last week we were in Lagos with private sector, because we all have a role to play in terms of creating jobs and giving solutions, not only shelter and food, but also making sure that there are opportunities out there for internally displaced persons and those communities. But migration is also international migration, which we said is mostly about regular movement of people within the continent, Africa. The majority of international migrants in this continent move within the continent, and in particular within the regions. The majority of Nigerians are in ECOWAS region as well as South Africa, but some are also contributing enormously to the country of destination overseas. Migrants represent 3.6% of the population, international migrants. They are 281 million globally, but they contribute to more than 10% of the GDP because they work harder. They have to contribute to the society where they thrive, where they live, but they also send money home. And not only money, they do transfer skill, knowledge. They are a bridge between two or more countries. Nigeria knows very well this, having incredible, resilient, but also incredible, smart diaspora living all around the world, mostly in the African continent, but also elsewhere, contributing 19.5 billion in remittances only in 2023. And we saw very much this also during turbulent times, during COVID time. The diaspora was the one really contributing to society at home. So we cannot forget this in this important month of December. 18 December is International Migrant Day. It reminds us that the world came together in the 70s to write a treaty, a human rights treaty called the International Convention on the Rights of All Migrant Workers and Members of Their Families. And that's exactly this important treaty that we remember today. And we also know that in December there's another important date to celebrate, the 19th of December. There was the date of adoption of the Global Compact for Migration. Why for? Because migration is a powerful tool for development. The movement of people, if it's voluntary, if it's orderly, if it's safe, is very beneficial for society, country of origin, but also destination. And that's why IOM, apart from looking at saving life and looking at durable solution for international migrants as well, not only in terms of return, but regular pathway, family reunification, international study, labor migration, but labor migration that doesn't bring to brain drain, a labor migration that is done through skill mobility partnership that benefit not only country of destination, but also country of origin, investing in skills not only for those who depart, but for those who stay, for migration to really, truly be a choice and not a necessity, and for migrants to contribute to the society they come from and they live in. And with that, I'm really looking forward to the deliberation of this dialogue, and I wish us all fruitful go ahead celebrating migrants and what they bring to the societies. Thank you very much.
We appreciate you, Paola Apache, the Interim Chief of Mission for the International Organization of Migration, IAM. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take the next goodwill message, but permit me to please plead with the speakers who will be coming up. Kindly, please help us and keep your speeches within a 3-minute duration. Please, time is not our friend today. Thank you very much. The next goodwill message will be coming from the head of the ICMPD Rabat Process Secretariat. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome Mr. John Charles.
Excellencies and dear guests, good morning. I'm very honored to address this absolutely amazing audience, and I just want to thank very warmly the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons for organizing such an event. So I'm representing the Rabat process, and which is implemented by the International Center for Migration Policy Development. Just to inform you that indeed, as you already heard, Nigeria will have the chairmanship of the Rabat process as of end of January 2025 for the whole year. And to inform you that indeed this is a great and unique opportunity also for Nigeria to show its leadership role in this unique migration dialogue, probably one of the biggest in the world, which is gathering 57 countries from West African, Central and Northern Africa and European countries along the migration routes. And what we really try to do is to together unite African partner countries and European partner countries to identify challenges in the field of migration, to come up with good practices and to, at the end of the day, adopt common solutions to better promote regular migration, prevent irregular migration, and make the indispensable link between migration and development. And we are very honored for this coming Nigerian chairmanship, which will really tackle very key priorities such as harnessing youth innovation for inclusive migration solutions, addressing the urgency of missing migrants, for sure the climate displacement and mobility nexus, as well as the important for many African countries migration data management and leveraging also technology and innovation for sustainable reintegration. So we look forward to work hand in hand with Nigeria, who will have a prominent role in the Rabat process to show the path to its African and European partner countries. Thank you very much, and I wish you a successful day.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take the next goodwill message. It will be coming from Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, the Chairman, CEO of NIDCOM. Can you please appreciate her? She is a household name in television broadcasting. Young speakers like myself grew up watching and listening to her. Can you please appreciate her one more time?
Mr. Vice President, Sir, Your Excellency, good afternoon. Deputy Speaker, good afternoon. Honorable Ministers, our Honorable Commissioner, good afternoon. And our EU delegation, good afternoon. I think a key word that we've heard here is the diaspora. And the Nigerian diaspora represents the very best in the world, as we have heard. Hardworking, brilliant, intelligent, developing world economies. And what we want them to do is also look back home and join us in building our country. And as we talk about migration, I think as this dialogue goes on, the key thing is how do we reduce irregular migration? How do we stop our people from dying in search of employment? These jobs are needed. How do we make it possible for them to go legally and then join us in contributing to the development of the economy? So we look forward to this topic, but most importantly is that we need to reduce irregular migration. And the world needs to come together to ensure that Africans are not dying in the process of making their lives better. We look forward to a great conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. May we give her another round of applause, please. Coming up next is, of course, one who has prepared. Originally, he was supposed to talk for about an hour and a half, but he has agreed that because of the exigency of time, he will speak for 15 minutes. He had been one time a Deputy Dean of Law at the Ahmadu Bello University, Director of Research at the National Human Rights Commission, and Presidential Commissioner for Justice Sector Reform in Nigeria. He was actively involved in ECOWAS legal initiative and has contributed to human rights advocacy and legal education in Nigeria and beyond. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, he specializes in comparative jurisprudence, human rights, environmental law, gender studies, and security law. He has made significant contributions to law through his teaching, research, and publications. Permit me to welcome one who holds an LLM, LLB, PhD in law with postdoctoral certification in alternative dispute resolution, ADR, and leadership from institutions like the University of Minnesota and Harvard Law School, with over 35 years of academic and professional experience. He is a distinguished legal scholar and the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, NILES, Professor Mohammed Taufik Ladan, our keynote speaker for today. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, honorable ministers here present, distinguished members of the Senate and House, Your Excellency, permit me to, instead of standing, since the protocol has been well established, allow me to sit comfortably on the protocol so actually established. Thank you very much. I would like to extend my profound gratitude to the Federal Commissioner for the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and IDPs for inviting me once again to deliver the keynote address this year on the theme Beyond Borders, Celebrating Migrants and Protecting Their Rights. Your Excellencies, migrants, whether by voluntariness in order to seek for greener pasture or to seek for better living actually conditions for themselves and for their families, or migrants that were forcefully actually made to migrate by various reasons, either as refugees, or displaced persons because of violent conflicts or wars, or sometimes environmental degradation, natural disaster, and then even today by climate change. Either way, Your Excellencies, migrants, by whatever reason they find themselves and however you classify them, are human beings and will remain human beings, and irrespective of the status of their journey from the countries of origin through destination, through actually transit point, they have remained human beings and they will always actually be human beings. In that context, the fundamental rights of all human beings, including migrants, are the right to life and the right to human dignity, the right of access to information, the right to privacy, and the right to family, the right to education and health. And in all these contexts, migrants from the countries of origin through transit to destination have never ceased to be human beings, and their rights have never diminished simply because they are migrants, either by the sense of voluntariness or even in the context of forced migration. The second point that I would like to also underscore is that, Your Excellencies, in reference to Nigerians in diaspora, they have never been parasites on the economy of any nation, because Nigerians are known to be highly educative and they have personal attributes of resilience, hardworking, they have skills, and they have excelled and they will continue to excel in many countries in the area of actually sports, music, medicine, surgery, and then in pharmacy, and above all, you can also see their prominence in politics, in actually developed economies, including US and UK. And it is on record that Nigerian immigrants in the US are rated as the most educated immigrants in the US, with 61% of them having college degrees. That shows that Nigerian actually in diaspora are not parasites on the economy of any nation. Rather, they are contributors to the socio-economic and cultural development, including political development of such nations in which they find themselves. Your Excellencies, I would also like to draw attention to the fact that it is true that we have two terminologies in Nigeria today for which the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his Vice President, seek to, put in context. The Japa syndrome as a brain drain, and the effort to reverse it, and that is the Jakpada syndrome. And either way, the Nigerian government had to contend with the hundreds of thousands of Nigerian youth in the age bracket of 18 and 35 years of age that seek actually to voluntarily migrate in the context of Japa syndrome, but the government is also trying as much as possible to let go, because there is another actually advantage from that Japa syndrome. But I think, like Honorable Abike Dagbere also said, it is also a very important factor to also have a Jakpada, strategy to ensure that we can retain the one that we can retain, encourage those that can return, and then also make sure that we create an enabling environment for those that wish to stay, to contribute, to stay. Your Excellencies, it is a fact that many Nigerian youth seekers have become stranded as destitute, hungered and jobless in UK, US, Canada, after paying travel agents thousands of pounds sterling and dollars to travel on skilled worker visa, only to realize that the jobs don't exist. Your Excellencies, it is also a fact that most countries seen as choice destinations, for instance, by Nigerian youth or those who actually encourage them to migrate, ended up actually finding that such choice destinations are not necessarily, juicy as they actually think, or the Japan generation actually have made a sense of trying to break the hurdle, either traveling by road, by sea, and even through human actually smugglers. And in all these situations, Your Excellencies, it is actually very clear that the administration of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu have actually underscored one point that is consistent with this year's key objective, and that is underscoring the contributions of migrants to socio-economic and cultural development of countries of origin, transit actually destination, and also the final destination actually in that context. And for the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, the key actually factor that underscores this year's actually dialogue is that the 79th UN General Assembly commitment or reaffirmation by Mr. President in New York in September 2024 clearly actually shows Nigeria's commitment to the global compact for safe, regular, and orderly migration. And it is also consistent with the President's renewed hope agenda's strategic interventions to achieve two broad objectives of this administration. That is stemming youth migration to grow Nigeria's next generation expertise. That's number one. And number two, the need to leverage in youth migration for national development through the implementation of the National Artisan Registration and Development Program, NADEP. And the second component is the Startups Act 2022, which is meant to reposition the economy of Nigeria to favor largely the Nigerian youth as potential migrants in the context of JAKPA and JAKPADA actually context. Your Excellencies, I would like to quickly draw our attention to the fact that there are 5 core reasons why we must celebrate migrants, and we must also seek to protect their rights, and we must also ensure that we tidy up some policy consistencies in Nigeria. Number one, in my view, migrants not only contribute to the economy of countries of destination by filling in the labor gaps or needs in many countries that have declining population or that have aging population as a problem. So Nigerians and other actually Africans and other actually migrants fill in these gaps, and this is one key important actually role that migrants actually play in countries of actually destination. And for us in Africa, particularly Nigeria, the other part of their outstanding contribution is, of course, from the countries of origin to the countries actually Nigeria, particularly the emphasis is on remittances, and these remittances contribute significantly to the stability of household incomes in developing economies like Nigeria. They improve food security, they provide access to education for needy family members at home, and they also contribute to alleviating household poverty. And to some extent, they also contribute to both cash and non-cash investment and to also businesses to thrive. Second, in the context of Nigeria, international remittances significantly help poorer recipients to meet basic needs and to also foster new businesses as well as service debts, and then above all drive economic growth. Your Excellencies, in the context of Nigeria, remittances from Nigerians in diaspora essentially constitute a major source of foreign exchange for Nigeria, with significant contribution to economic growth and national development. And according to the World Bank, the Nigerian diaspora of about 1.7 million, this is an official population, quoted. We are certain that that figure is more than 1.7 million. But going by the official even figure, they remitted $65.34 billion in 3 years to boost economic activities in Nigeria between 2018 and 2020. And according to the most recent data, the average contribution of remittances to Nigeria's GDP is about 20 billion US dollars every year between 2021 and 2024. And this actually makes Nigeria to remain the top recipient of remittances in sub-Saharan Africa, accounted actually for 35% of the total 54 billion US dollars in 2023 alone. So you can see why we must celebrate actually, migrants, particularly skilled and migrants that, migrated based on, regular actually channels and based on safety. And this underscores the need for migration to be regular, to be safe, to be orderly, and to be in the context of the protection of human rights of all, because migrants on transit up to the point of destination have never ceased to be human beings in the search for greener pasture, or as a result of they being forced to migrate for a number of reasons. Number three, quickly, Your Excellencies, beyond economic contribution, migrants have for a long actually period of time been drivers of entrepreneurship and innovation, and they have actually gained or received awards for arts, sciences, patents, startups, successful companies set up across developed and developing economies, especially Nigerians and Africans in Europe and America. Number four, in the civic and political domain, migrants are known to have contributed positively, both in origin and destination countries, including they being advocates of tolerance, of diversity, of inclusion, and migrants, even as refugees that are forcibly displaced, can also be an important game changers in peace building, in reconstruction processes, and in bringing their experiences, life skills, education, talents, innovative actual ideas, and resources to rebuilding the infrastructure and social cohesion, as well as political processes in post-conflict settings in any economy they find themselves. Number five, finally, is that migrants who have brought with them their trade links, their skills and customs, traditions, have also helped in food diversity, and have also enriched dietary component of many actual economies in which they find themselves. And on this note, I would like to underscore, moving forward, Your Excellencies, that with all these actual contributions of migrants, it is on record that each year or every year, tens of thousands of migrants, especially from West and Central Africa, undertake highly risk irregular migration journeys, and many of them to Europe through the Sahara, North African countries like Libya, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and the Middle East. And they have all actually largely suffered from all kinds of abuses, sexual and gender-based violence, all forms of exploitation, and then these are largely perpetrated by migrant smugglers, human and organ traffickers, law enforcement agencies in transit, and in some instances in destination countries. Moving forward, Your Excellency, I would like to actually underscore the fact that we must protect their rights from the countries of origin through transit to destination, because they are human beings, and it is also necessary that we must empower them and recognize the role of migrants in positive interaction, particularly their social, economic, political, economic and cultural contributions to transit and receiving economies, as well as the communities of origin, in order to eliminate all forms of discriminatory narratives and practices like hate speech against migrants and their families. And I believe strongly that in the context of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, we need actually to do the following. Rounding up. In the context of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, the constitutional foundation as to why we must respect protect the rights of migrants in whatever situation and by whatever reason they become migrants is rooted, Your Excellency, in Section 14, subsection 2, paragraph B of the Nigerian Constitution, is on the primary purpose of government. Why government is in government at the federal, state, and local government level, the Constitution says is only to do two things: to promote the security, that's number one, and number two, to promote the welfare of all people. The drafters of the Constitution deliberately did not qualify the word security with any terminology, so they left it open-ended. Your Excellency, is the security which includes social security, economic security, health security, educational security, economic security, and then you can add state or national security to it. So the security is open-ended, and the welfare is tied to the other section that follows Section 14.2b that says the federal government of Nigeria is only in government to promote the security and welfare of people. Primarily, that's why we are in government. And in that context, it gives our federal, state, and local government the opportunity to promote and protect the rights of migrants, irrespective of their situation or condition in which they find themselves. And the fact that Section 14.2b says of all people, it didn't say of only Nigerians. The drafters intelligently, decided to ensure that even migrants are accommodated in the security and welfare of all people in Nigeria as a constitutional obligation. And Your Excellencies, the second constitutional provision that anchors responsibility of our government to promote and protect, the rights of migrants to civil, political, economic, and social and developmental rights of migrants in Nigeria. We want to see the Nigerian diaspora having their rights protected. But in Nigeria, our constitution says our government must do also the same. Promote their security and their welfare, and then guarantee their rights. For example, Section 16, Your Excellencies, of the Constitution of Nigeria provides that the state is obligated to ensure the promotion of a balanced economic development for national prosperity to thrive for the common good of all. Here, the drafter of the Constitution did not say for the common good of Nigerians. It said for the common good of all. So if you have migrants, whether forcefully actually migrated or voluntarily, they are actually essentially, are needed to benefit from this scheme. Finally, Your Excellencies, in our MOUs on migration, I would like to advise, leveraging on particularly youth migration for national development, the following are viable options for us. We must ensure as Nigerians that while exploring the role of bilateral labor migration agreements or MOUs, we must have clauses that promote human rights-based labor migration, that give effect to migrant workers' rights set out in international law and labor standards at all stages of JAPA origin, transit, and destination countries. Number two, such agreements or MOUs should facilitate low or no cost transfer of migrant savings and their remittances during their stay and upon termination of their stay. Number three, the need for urgent review of both the National Youth Policy 20 and 2023 that have expired and that of National Migration Policy 2015 that has also expired, needing actually review in order to reflect current practical realities and practices that are good or best across the globe, especially in the area of reform of our laws and policies and innovative interventions and the management of data on migration under the renewed actually Hope Agenda 2023-2027. And I would like to also finally actually underscore that it requires us to discharge our obligations under the AU Protocol on free movement of persons, goods, and services, and right of establishment, which requires Nigeria, Your Excellency. Nigeria has signed it. I will urge His Excellency, the Vice President, to probably actually ensure that at the end of this dialogue, Nigeria ratifies the AU Protocol on free movement of persons, goods, and services, just like we have done for ECOWAS Protocol. Finally, I would like to underscore, Your Excellency, that there is the need for us to fast-track the process of domestication of the AU Kampala Convention on IDPs for their protection and rights, because the draft bill is already on ground, and I think it needs a political will to push it so that it can actually be adopted in that context. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor M.T. Ladan. We apologize for having to make you speed up your keynote address, but we appreciate you. I want to please plead with other stakeholders and partners who are to give goodwill messages. The organizers have asked me to plead with you that your speeches will come after the Vice President speaks. However, there's an exception to this. They've insisted that I make welcome the representative of the Civil Society Forum who will speak before we hear from our special guest. So ladies and gentlemen, for a 3-minute goodwill message, please help me make welcome the chairman of the Civil Society Forum 2024 and founder of TAF Africa, Mr. Jake Ekpele.
Mr. Vice President, thank you. I can't stand on existing protocol, especially when you are in the hall, just to say thank you for lending your voice to the cause of persons with disability. And second person who is the advocate for persons with disability is His Excellency, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you for being my friend. And thank you for the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian, who have decided that he has become #1 person with disability in the country. That said, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead to present the common speech by the civil society, which is entitled Recognizing and Facilitating Returnees' Contribution to National Development from the Grassroots and non-actors. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is an immense pleasure to stand here, even though I'm struggling with my system because of my sight, to stand here before the Vice President and all the invited guests to present the common decision of the civil society. So on behalf of the civil society organization working in migration, please let me say a few words as I will make my way to go and sit down, that the platform recognizes what the federal government is doing on behalf of the migrants. Some of us have applied to become returnees so that we can also benefit from it. The civil society community acknowledges and commends the Federal Republic of Nigeria for its unwavering dedication to an inclusive approach to migration governance by ensuring a 360-degree whole of society and whole of governance approach. Nigeria has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to international standards, fostering a collaborative environment for state and non-state actors alike. I think you missed the place to clap. This inclusivity is amplified through the acceptance of the Civil Society Forum as a vital component of national migration dialogue and its alignment with national migration governance. Since its inception in 2021, the Civil Society Forum have justified the recognition as an invaluable contribution to Nigerian migration governance program by serving as a bridge that ensure that the voices of communities, migrants, including returnees, and non-state actors resonate at the national policy level. The CSF commitment to diversity and inclusion is exemplified by the choice of leadership with this year's forum proudly chaired by my humble self and co-chaired by a returnee. This is an intentional way of ensuring that all voices are not only heard, but actively shaped migration policies and governance framework. Historically, preceding the NMD, the CSF has allowed grassroots insight to inform and shape national migration dialogue. This year, however, this same forum precedes the CSF, a significant shift that highlights the evolving and dynamic nature of the relationship between the two critical platforms. You already know the theme of this year, but let me jump, because I do not want to violate the time that I'm giving. Let me jump to the critical aspect of this speech, which highlights the decision and the advocacy of the forum. Number one, to identify barriers to sustainable reintegration and propose actionable solutions. Number two, to foster collaborative partnership between state and non-state actors. Number three, to advocate for policies that reflect the lived realities of returnees and their community, ensuring migration governance contributes meaningfully to national development. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that this speech will be distributed to everybody, but I want to maintain the time that I'm giving. I want to remind the Vice President and everybody seated here that the day you were born, you cried, and everyone around you rejoiced. When we live our lives so well, we will rejoice. When we die, and everyone will cry. I believe that the Vice President have nodded and will approve everything we have demanded. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, can we put our hands together some more for him? Thank you. It was he who invited me to the commissioning of a bridge. And before that day, the minister who was commissioning, many, many years ago, had not read his speech before that day. We were on the bridge, and the minister's PA managed only to print one copy of the speech. It was hard copy. The minister had not seen it before that day, so we were on the bridge. In between collecting the speech from his PA's hand and reading it, there was this bad wind that came and took the paper. And the speech went directly into the river. And the minister looked at us, he looked at his PA and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, with my speech in the river, I hereby commission the bridge." The next person I am bringing is one who is known for his eloquence and diplomatic finesse. He has represented Nigeria on global platform, including addressing the United Nations General Assembly. He has written his speeches many, many times by himself. He has corrected others written for him. With a background in agricultural economics from the University of Maiduguri and a master's degree in the University of Ibadan, he had lived the life of a successful banker. Between 2007 and 2011, he was commissioner for 5 different ministries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I present His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Shetima, Kashim Shetima, GCON, the 15th and current Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please put your hands together for him.
Sit down, please. Please, kindly sit down, please. People praise the peacock for its beautiful plumage, but he himself is ashamed of his ugly legs, and hence bow his head in submission to God. Thank you, gentlemen, for the encomiums, but I'm just a humble servant, a representative of my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okeze Kalu, with the member representing Bende Federal Constituency of Abia State. His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, the Senator representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District and Chairman, Senate Committee on Public Accounts, distinguished Senator Ahmed Aliu Wadada, Dalkin Yakin Kepi. The Chairman, House Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparation, and member representing Ekiti Irepodun Isinioke Ero Federal Constituency of Kwara State, Right Honorable Rahim Tuji Olawi. My friend, Right Honorable Jonathan Bekwi Gaza, member representing Karu Kepi Kokona Federal Constituency of Nasarawa State, and Chairman, House Committee on Solid Minerals. Our host, the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. I will pronounce your name correctly. You failed to pronounce my name correctly, but I will do so. Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yelwada. Incidentally, the Angas chieftain is claiming ancestry from the Borno region where I hail from. But he modeled off my name the last time he was to address a crowd, but I have forgiven you because the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, Alhaji Muhammadu Megali Dingyadi, the Honorable Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Right Honorable Tijani Aliu Ahmed, and members of the management of his organization. Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, members of the diplomatic corps present here, our royal fathers, if not because it's a friendly crowd, I could have been apprehensive. The Federal Commissioner gathered a lot of traditional, very powerful traditional rulers from Kogi and Nasarawa State. His Royal Highness AJ of Ankwa, Alhaji Ahmed Yakubu, His Royal Highness Emir of Karshi, Professor Mohammed Sani Bako II, His Royal Highness the Emir of Loko, Alhaji Abubakar Ahmed Sabo, His Royal Highness the Abaga Tony, His Royal Highness Lawrence Sylvester Agi, and His Royal Highness the Chunmada, His Royal Highness Samson Gamu Yare. Our distinguished personalities, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the security establishment, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Our world has been built solely by the exchange. Our world has not been built solely by the exchange of ideas, but also by our liberty to pursue life in places other than our homes. This freedom to seek new horizons, whether for work, safety, or opportunity, has played a foundational role in the development of civilizations. It is through migration that we have shared knowledge, culture, and innovation across borders. No nation or society can claim that it has not been influenced and enriched by ideas, people, and culture from other places. It is with this understanding that I am honored to join you at the 10th Annual National Migration Dialogue, a gathering of experts, policymakers, and stakeholders to answer the question of migration in the world we have shaped. While this forum holds a special place in our national discourse, as it coincides with the commemoration of the International Migrants' Day, the theme, Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy, protecting their rights, provokes sober reflection on the dual essence of migration. Its remarkable contributions to society and the enduring need to safeguard the rights of those who undertake these journeys. Migration is not just a crossover from one geography to another. It is a critical driver of global and national development. In 2022 alone, Nigerians in diaspora accounted for $21.9 billion in remittances, representing 64% of all remittances in West Africa. This is a testament to the invaluable economic contributions of Nigerian migrants. Beyond financial remittances, our migrants have become global ambassadors, excelling in fields such as technology, medicine, sports, and the creative arts. Nigerian startups, founded by migrants, attracted over $800 million in investments in 2022, underscoring the transformative potential of our people across the world. Who founded Facebook? The co-founder of Facebook was Eduardo Luis Sabirin, born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, of Jewish Brazilian ancestry. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, was a migrant from South Africa. He owns SpaceX and now X, formerly Twitter. I can name names. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, is worth over $30 billion. He's of Russian background. Rupert Murdoch, the chief executive of News Corp, is of Australian descent. Madeleine Albright, who became the United States Secretary of State, was of Czech origin. Steve Chen, the co-founder of YouTube, is originally from Taiwan. Immigrants build nations and immigrants build civilizations. One of the men in the front seat here has a thriving business in Namibia. He lived in Australia for over a decade, adding value to the Australian economy. Hence, there is a need for us to respect and cherish immigrants. Migrants are the source of life in all societies. Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, is originally from India. A very brilliant young man. He never denigrated his nation of ancestry, nor poured venoms on India. Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. 1 out of every 3-4 black men is a Nigerian. And by 2050, Nigeria will surpass the United States, will be the 3rd most populous nation on earth. 1 out of every 3 black men will be a Nigerian. And by the end of the century, when all of us seated here will be poor tenants in the home of the earthworms, Nigeria will be the most populous nation on earth. So I am a Nigerian. I am a proud Nigerian. Kemi Badenoch is entitled to her own opinions, but definitely her opinion is not the sacred truth. Thank you so much. Nigeria is both a country of origin and a destination for migrants, with over 1.3 million international migrants calling Nigeria home. However, we must acknowledge that irregular migration remains a persistent challenge. In 2024, we have already returned and reintegrated no fewer than 10,000 Nigerians who had been detained for immigration offenses in African and European countries. These figures highlight the vulnerabilities that come with migration and emphasize the need for coordinated efforts to address these challenges while harnessing migration's potential for economic growth and resilience. The federal government of Nigeria, under the able and capable leadership of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, remains resolute in addressing migration challenges. Earlier this year, at the United Nations General Assembly, Mr. President reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to the Global Compact for safe, orderly, and regular migration, a vital framework to ensure that migration benefits all while protecting the rights of migrants. Our government's response has been multifaceted, involving several agencies and robust partnerships. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, under the capable leadership of Honorable Federal Commissioner Tijani Aliu Ahmed, who has gathered the Nasarawa crowd here, continues to lead Nigeria's migration coordination effort. I think we have to prop the Federal Commissioner. Either you are nursing a political ambition or you are promoting the political ambition of a political chieftain. This includes the ongoing review of the national migration policy to align with global best practices. Additionally, the Nigeria Immigration Service has demonstrated unwavering commitment to innovation in border management, adopting modern technologies and policies to streamline processes and enhance efficiency. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, among these innovations is the introduction of electronic gates at major airports to revolutionize the traveler experience and ensure faster, more secure clearance. Similarly, the rollout of e-passports, designed with advanced security features, facilitates seamless international travel while enhancing the integrity of Nigeria's travel documents. The NIS has also expanded access to Nigerian visas through online platforms, making it easier for travelers to apply and obtain visas. These include the visa on arrival policy, which has enhanced Nigeria's attractiveness as a destination for business and tourism. These initiatives are not only enhancing migration management, but they also align with Nigeria's commitment to global standards, contributing to economic growth and regional integration. Moreover, our partnerships with agencies such as the International Organization for Migration and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees have been invaluable in advancing migration governance. Through these partnerships, migration resource centers have been established nationwide to provide vital information and assistance to potential migrants. At the same time, we are strengthening interventions addressing displacements caused by climate change and other challenges. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, looking ahead, Nigeria's upcoming presidency of the Rabat process in 2025 presents a unique opportunity to showcase the positive contributions of Nigerian and African migrants on the global stage. Notably, 80% of African migration remains within the continent, presenting a largely untapped opportunity for regional integration and economic development. It's saddening to note that some South Africans are clamoring for the impeachment of their president for enhancing the visa rights to Nigerians. Unless they suffer from memory amnesia, Nigeria, more than any other country, contributed to the liberation of the Southern African nations. We are not gloating, but we are just reminding them. Let them know that the trajectory of global growth faces Africa, and Nigeria will make or mar that destination. If Nigeria walks, Africa walks. And Nigerians are not going to other parts of the nation to become beggars. Yes, we have the bad eggs engaging in antisocial activities, but Nigerians generally are a very proud and productive people. The most upwardly mobile immigrant community in the United States are Nigerian Americans. So let no one take us for granted. Let no nation take us to the cleaners. We are Nigerians. We are proudly Nigerians, and we will remain Nigerians. As we deliberate today, I urge us all to focus on practical solutions that celebrate the legacies of migrants while advancing their rights. This includes ensuring the inclusion of migration considerations in bilateral labor agreements, promoting brain circulation, and exploring pathways for safe and regular migration. Finally, my own finally is not Professor Mohammed's finally. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nantawe Goshwe Yilwade, for his leadership in organizing this important dialogue, as well as our esteemed partners, including the European Union, ICMPD, GIZ, and the private sector, who have been steadfast in their support. Migration, Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is a shared responsibility, and your commitment highlights the importance of a whole-of-society approach to governance. I wish us all fruitful deliberations as we work together to build a future where migration is safe, orderly, and beneficial to all. I wish Senator Wadada, Gaza, and the Nasarawa gang, including my very frequent, all the best in their future political undertaking. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll ask that you stay. While those in front, our VIPs in front, can we join His Excellency in the front here for a group picture, please? Can we join him? Those in front row, please, can we join for a group picture here in front? The rest of us, we can continue the applause. Let's clap again for that wonderful delivery, that wonderful message of hope. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Indeed, is a testament of hope, and we thank you. While this picture is going on, we'll tell our technical team to play the documentary. We can listen while we are taking these pictures. We thank our royal fathers for the honor. We'll now take the national anthem. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate you. Our technical team, I'm sure you can play that documentary. This is also to remind us that we are continuing. We'll take a few more goodwill messages, and we'll also take more discussions. We have 2 panel sessions. We'll ask that as soon as the Vice President leaves, we'll allow the others to continue. We'll be seated and continue.
Thousands of people undertake perilous journeys going through illegal and unsafe routes in search of greener pastures, crossing the Mediterranean Sea and going through the deserts, enduring the despair with no hope of returning home. The hardships and risks these countless migrants face on their perilous journeys, and with many untold stories, unfortunately, many never reach their intended destinations or find their ways back home. Irregular routes have cost many lives. Even those who survive often endure illnesses due to the harsh conditions they encountered throughout their journey. Migration is a fundamental human right and a global challenge not peculiar to Nigeria alone, but as a destination and transit country for migrants. The burden of internal migration and irregular migration poses serious challenge for the country, especially with the growing desire of the Japa syndrome in the quest for a better life. Despite the growing burden of irregular migration, internal migration remains a huge burden for Nigeria. The reoccurrence of violence such as banditry, natural disasters like erosion and flooding, conflicts like farmers' herders or communal clashes continue to drive thousands of people away from their homes. Both in the northern and southern parts of the country, people continue to migrate to safe regions in a quest for sustainable livelihood, and many seek for shelter in temporary camps. The rate of migration in southeast Nigeria is one of the highest in the country and is fueled by basically gully erosion amidst the population growth and the adverse economic and political situation in the country. The burden of displacement in the southeastern region as a result of devastating floods that hit some communities, including Oguta, Ohaji Egbema, Mbetoli, Ikeduru, and Orsu local government areas in Imo State between 2014 and 2023 resulted in massive forced displacements, with many losing their homes, livelihoods, property, and crops. Nigeria has been experiencing large-scale rural-urban migration, which is increasing the poverty rate and displacement in rural communities, with the varying degrees of migration from regular to irregular due to the push and pull factors. These drivers of internal migration stem from insecurity, economic and climatic factors like desertification, which have destroyed farmlands across communities in the country. Return migration is another important phenomenon in the country, as returnees usually face difficulties trying to integrate into the society. As part of the reintegration and rehabilitation program funded by the government of Nigeria, with the support of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, thousands of migrants who have been stranded have been deported or repatriated back home, with some voluntarily submitting selves. Despite the growing numbers of migrants who have been repatriated to the country, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, with its mandate of addressing irregular migration, has continued to engage development partners like the International Organization on Migration, IOM, and other stakeholders to enhance Nigeria's capacity on migration management, support, and fortify positive impact for regular migration for sustainable development, especially with the substantive review of the national migration policy to be in tandem with best global practices. The Commission has not relented in the repatriation process of Nigerians under the leadership of the Honorable Federal Commissioner, Tijani Aliu Ahmed. In collaboration with other stakeholders, they have successfully repatriated thousands of Nigerians from different countries. So far, from January 1st to October 29, 2024, a total of 5,936 returnees comprising male, female, adults, children, and infants have successfully returned home. From January 2023 to October 2024, the Commission has processed the return of 11,649 Nigerian returnees from multiple countries including Libya, Niger, Sudan, Italy, Sweden, Chad, Cameroon, UAE, Denmark, Turkey, Germany, and other European, Middle Eastern, and African countries. Upon arrival, temporary solutions to aid their livelihoods is facilitated with the provision of relief items, psychosocial support, and counseling before reintegrating them into the society. The Commission has continued to engage development partners with sustainable reintegration programs designed to restore livelihood support for migrants with support from international organizations such as the International Organization on Migration, IOM, GIZ, and other stakeholders to reintegrate these migrants into society through different economic empowerment programs to enable them become self-reliant. The Commission, on its part, has adopted an action plan for durable solution with the provision of livelihood support, including skills acquisition, provision of agricultural inputs, economic empowerment programs like the Renewed Hope Agricultural Empowerment Project launched in Nasarawa, Plateau, and Borno states. It is
Technical
designed
team,
to
can we
promote
cut the
productivity
documentary, please?
while
Thank
fostering
you.
self-reliance among migrants and displaced communities.
Thank you very much.
Despite
Please,
the
can we cut the documentary now? We'll play it a little later. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, can we be seated? Can we be seated, please? Thank you very much. We are honored to have you with us here. Please, can we go back to our seats so we can continue? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's be seated. Thank you. At this point, we have prepared a very formidable consular troupe, one of the best on this side of the world, the Afri Theatre Troupe. Please, let's put our hands together for them as they bring to us a special rendition of the Bata dance. Please put your hands together for them as they come.
ọmọdé o ọba wa kọ́ ìmọ̀. awuyewuye ọ̀rọ̀ kọ́mọdé o ọba wa kọ́ ìmọ̀. awuyewuye ọ̀rọ̀ kọ́mọdé o ọba wa kọ́ ìmọ̀. ẹgbẹ́ lọ́ba ọba tó dáadé owó ọba tó tẹ̀ báyìí lẹ̀ ọba tó pàṣẹ láàrin ẹgbẹ́ lọ́ba ọba tó dáadé owó ayọ̀ tẹ̀ báyìí lẹ̀. Rere ọmọ rere wo àgbà. Rere rere o rere ọmọ rere wo. Rere 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 bá pè kí là ó bọ̀ ọba.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you for that wonderful rendition from the southwestern part of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I especially appreciate the representative of the American Embassy, Melissa M. Barina Sandoval. You're welcome. We also have with us the representative of the president of Digital Bridge Institute, who's represented here by the Group Head Corporate Services, Viola Asika Usoro. Thank you very much for the honor of coming. I will need your attention because the next item is very, very critical. And this is what happens traditionally when I want to bring up someone who's very important to speak. I just ask for a simple exercise. I count 1, 2, 3 and say go and expect us to clap once. Is this something we can do? Thank you. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I didn't say go. Can we try one more time? 1, 2, 3. I still didn't say go. We'll try one last time. 1, 2, 3, go. Now, what that says is that for the average human being, you have to tell him something at least 3 times for the person to comprehend. The person I'm bringing up has one opportunity to say very important thing. He is a very key in the heart of what we do. He represents the past. He represents what we are doing now. And most especially, he focuses as engine room and coordination for what is to come. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that we put our hands together as I welcome the Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Nantawe Goshwe Ilwata. Please put your hands together for him as he comes up to share with us vision and aspiration of what is to come. Please, can you clap properly for him?
Let me first thank the Vice President, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, who has just left, for honoring this occasion and serving as a guest of honor and also the Deputy Speaker, His Excellency, Right Honorable Benjamin Kanu, and recognize also Senator Ahmed Wadada of Nasarawa West, and the Chairman House Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, Honorable Rahim Tunji Olawi, and other members of the National Assembly, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, who has just left also. Oh, he's here even. His Excellency Emmanuel Akabe, and other governors here represented. Let me recognize also the other head of agencies, federal government agencies that are here, and recognize especially the representative of United Nations Non-Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Mohammed Malik Fall. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, our development partners here present, INGOs, CSO, our Royal Highnesses, and ladies and gentlemen. Before I make any statement, the last speaker before the Vice President, who spoke on behalf of all the CSOs, made a statement that I'm the main driver of the people with disability. I'm not just a driver, I also have a disability. I'm a person with disability who was supported right from secondary school to the university because of my disability. I don't have sense of smelling, I have only 4 senses. People have 5 senses, I have 4 senses. I don't have sense of smelling. I was supporting in chemistry and other sciences right from the beginning to the end. By the secondary school I was schooling in, I was supported up to university, and they provided alternative to chemistry for me because I cannot smell anything in the laboratories. So the president of the people with disability, I'm not just supporting people with disability, I also have disability. Let me first welcome you to this session, and it's with great honor and pleasure to address you today at the 2024 National Migration Dialogue, which also ushers in the commemoration of the International Migrants Day, observed annually on December 18. This milestone event underscores Nigeria's unwavering commitment to advancing migration governance, safeguarding the rights of migrants, and amplifying invaluable contribution to global development. This year's theme, Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy and protecting their rights, aligns seamlessly with the global theme for International Migrants Day, honoring the contributions of migrants and respecting their rights. It is a clarion call to action, urging us not only to protect migrants' rights, but also to celebrate their invaluable contribution to both origin and host countries. For us in Nigeria especially, Nigerian migrants have left an indelible mark on the global stage. According to the World Bank, diaspora remittances to Nigeria reaches about 21.9 billion in 2022, contributing significantly to household incomes, to education, healthcare, and infrastructural development. Beyond financial remittances, Nigerian migrants have excelled across various sectors. We have some of the most brilliant migrants in the world. In education, Nigerians are among the most educated migrants in many countries, such as America, with over 59% holding at least a bachelor's degree, compared to 3% of the general United States population. And in healthcare, the same thing we have done. Nigerian professionals constitute a significant proportion to the medical workforce in the United States and the United Kingdom, playing the pivotal role in ensuring health and well-being of host communities. Innovation and technology we were not left behind. Nigerian technology ecosystem, driven partly by diaspora, attracted over $800 million in investment in 2022, with startups founded by Nigerians ranking among the most innovative in Africa. In Nigeria, same thing, Nigerian artists, Nigerian writers, filmmakers continue to shape global cultural narratives, showcasing the riches and our heritage. And you can't discuss from music to any form of arts without Nigerian music. In short, Nigerian music has become almost global. I travel across the globe, from airports to hotels to cinemas to everywhere. What you listen to from Africa are export of Nigerian music across the globe. And that shows our contribution Nigerian contribution to different parts of the world. The Federal Ministry of Material Affairs and Poverty Reduction, as supervising ministry of NCFRM-MI, remains resolute in safeguarding the rights and dignity of migrants, guided by the Global Compact for safe, regular, and orderly migration, as reaffirmed by Mr. President during the United Nations General Assembly in New York, USA. Nigeria continues to implement migration policies that prioritizes safety, inclusivity, and development. Through initiatives such as Resettlement City Project and Renew Hope Agri Empowerment Program, which I was opportune to be in Borno State, and my Minister of State was opportune to be in Plateau State. And he himself, Honorable Ahmed Tijani, was also in Nasarawa State. All of us visited the farms, and I could see the happiness and the joy that the farmers, the IDPs who participate in this program, had reason to benefit from it. And we are also, committed with him and the ministry to ensure that much more of these programs are undertaken in 2025 and beyond. As Nigeria prepares to assume the presidency of the Rabat process 2025, we are uniquely positioned to lead discussions on migration and development across Africa and Europe. It is important to note that over 80% of African migration occurs within the continent, driving regional trade, cultural exchange, and economic growth. And everybody knows that you can't discuss African trade, African economy, African GDP without discussing about Nigeria. Nigeria drives trade, drives commerce, drives even cultural heritage across the entire Africa. So Nigeria will play a vital role to ensure that using the Rabat process will drive all these processes to ensure that all migrants have their rights protected in the course of leading this body. Nigerian Migration Governance Framework emphasizes regional cooperation, protection of migrants' rights, and creation of legal migration pathways. Therefore, we aim to amplify the narrative of African migrants as drivers of innovation and development, while fostering stronger partnership to address migration challenges. Migration is a shared responsibility and requires collective action. As we celebrate, let us strengthen bilateral labor agreements with destination countries to safeguard the rights of migrants. We should also enhance the internal migration policies to address priorities and disparities in development and reduce irregulation in migration. We should promote brain circulation and knowledge transfer as tools for national and regional development. And we should also leverage the contribution of the Nigerian migrants to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, not just for Nigeria alone, but Africa and also globally. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, migration is more than just movement. It is a story of resilience, a story of courage, a story of transformative impact to bridge between nations, cultures, and economies. I extend my deepest gratitude to our invaluable partners, particularly the International Organization for Migration, IOM, the United Nations High High Commissioner for Refugees, the European Union, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, the German Corporation for International Cooperation, and others for their steadfast support in advancing migration governance in Nigeria. I also commend the contribution of civil societies, academia, and private sector, whose unwavering commitment highlights the collective responsibility required for effective migration management. Lastly, I applaud the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons for their exemplary leadership in organizing this dialogue and their pivotal role in ongoing review of Nigerian national migration policy. As we engage in this deliberation, let us strive for a future where migration is safe, orderly, and beneficial for all. I wish you all fruitful discussions and eagerly anticipate the outcome of this dialogue to shape the opinion of the Nigerian voice in migration issues. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm confident our Honorable Minister deserves a louder ovation. Can we please appreciate him one more time? Dr. Nantawe Goshwe Yilwata, the Honorable Minister for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very quickly, I want to recognize the presence of the representatives of some of our governors. Please help me appreciate the representative of the governor of Katsina State. We appreciate you, Saidi Ibrahim Koguna. Let's clap for him. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you here. Thank you. Let's also give a warm round of applause to the representative of the governor of Kano State. The Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs is with us, Hajia Amina Abdullahi Sani. Also representing the governor of Plateau State, we have Mr. Sunday A. Abdul. And the representative of the governor of Cross River State, Dr. Helen Samuel. We're glad to have you here. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next goodwill message, I would like to make welcome Dr. Tony Luka Elumelu. He is speaking on behalf, I beg your pardon, he is the Director, Private Sector, ECOWAS. Can we please celebrate him as he steps forward? Dr. Tony Luka Elumelu. I also want to quickly recognize the presence of the rector of the Nasarawa State Polytechnic. We're honored to have you here, sir, as well. Thank you very much. Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa State. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, I've been enriched today by the new word that came into the lexicon today. I'm sitting on the protocol, but I want to ask your permission to lie on the protocol. Excellencies, ministers, governors present here, members of the diplomatic corps, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my job has been made easy because quite a lot of discussions have been made on migration. But I want to say that migration is our way of life, especially for migrants of ECOWAS extraction. We move, and you cannot stop us from moving. So the problem will now be, how do we manage migration? So on behalf of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency, Dr. Omar Ali Toure, I want to bring this goodwill message, brief one, but also to say that within ECOWAS, as has been mentioned before by previous speakers, our flagship protocol in ECOWAS reiterates the need for us to move by the concept of the pre-movement protocol, right of residence and establishment, which came into existence in 1979 and was supposed to pass through a 15-year phase. 3-year phase of 15 years. The right of entry, right of residence, and that of establishment. And we've been able to go through this. I'm also glad that Professor Ladam mentioned that the free movement at the continental level should also, which was signed, should also be ratified. Another thing again is that when you sign protocols and texts, legal instruments, without implementation, it's like having no protocol. So it's important that we focus on implementation. If you look at the right of entry, residence, and establishment, there are provisos. Those provisos also contain the protection of the rights of migrants, of ECOWAS extraction, and of everybody. So the theme today, Beyond Borders, celebrating the migrant legacy, protecting their rights, aptly captures the essence of our dialogue. Migration has been and continues to be a transformative force in shaping our society and economies. Today, we celebrate the immense contributions of migrants, particularly those of Nigerian extraction, but beyond this, of African, who have enriched not only their home countries, but also host transit communities with their skills, exchange of cultures, and ingenuity. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, migrants have become cornerstone of global development, from advancing healthcare and education to driving innovative in technology entrepreneurship that have redefined success in ways that transcend borders. As we celebrate their legacies, we must also commit ourselves to addressing the challenges that they face. And these challenges, we must try to resolve. Migrants are not commodities, so they need to be protected. We need to go beyond remittances and see how can we protect them. Dialogue is seen as a call for action, and I will commend the organizers of this great dialogue to make sure that it's a data in terms of what they have done before, what have this dialogue been able to achieve, to know how to go. It's an opportunity to reaffirm our collective responsibility to protect the rights of migrants, uphold their dignity, and recognize their pivotal roles in shaping the future. Nigeria stands tall, like His Excellency the President mentioned. I'm very, very tall in this endeavor. With the actions taken by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, Internally Displaced Persons, and Diaspora, and other related agencies, and in this case, permit me to reinforce the Nigerian Immigration Service. That is my alma mater. That's where I came from. Excellencies, in pursuit of solutions, we can draw inspiration from global best practices, the Philippines. For instance, they have demonstrated the power of diaspora engagement through investment programs, skills transfer initiatives, and the cultural exchange. Similarly, Africa must leverage its diaspora as a vital force for economic transformation, innovation, and cultural enrichment. Then finally, we need to mainstream migration into our development agenda. I was so glad that private sector is being mentioned everywhere. We need to make sure that we integrate migration in our national agenda, which has been done, but also provide funds in our budget to make sure that we drive this process. We need to prioritize the protection of migrants' rights by combating xenophobia, reducing barriers to essential services, and upholding human dignity. Promote diaspora engagement by fostering stronger connections with migrant communities and creating opportunities to full participation in economic social development. I want to thank you, but it's very important to note that 90% of people moving around ECOWAS are migrants of ECOWAS extraction. And ECOWAS have developed the ECOWAS policy on migration. And based on that, we'll encourage Nigeria to also take advantage of all these instruments and deal with migration once and for all. Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Tony Luka Elumelu. We'll be moving on now and invite for the next goodwill message the Country Director of the International Return and Reintegration Assistance, IRARA. One of our stakeholders and partners, please help me make welcome Mr. Roland Nwoha.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to maybe bow to the already established protocol. I bring you warm greetings from the global family of the International Returns and Reintegration Assistance, IRARA. I would like to start by first congratulating the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons on the occasion of the 2024 National Migration Dialogue, an event which has become the largest gathering of migration actors in Nigeria to commemorate the International Migrant Day. The International Migrant Day, as we all know, is a reminder and a day to bring to the consciousness of society the importance and role, contributions that migrants make politically, socially, and economically around the world, and most importantly, the collective responsibility of government and society to protect the rights of migrants. This year's theme, Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy, protecting their rights, resonates deeply with us as it espouses IRARA's commitment to fostering a positive future for all migrants, one characterized by dignity and inclusivity. For us at IRARA, we believe that migration is not just a journey across borders. It is the story of courage, resilience, and transformation that brings together cultures and a deeper understanding of our shared humanity. Today, the world has come to accept that migrants' contribution to the social, cultural, and economic landscape of societies and communities around the world is one that cannot be ignored. The skills, the talents, experiences, and the resources that migrants contribute have become a centerpiece of strategies to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It is therefore appropriate to celebrate migrants' legacies as a way to remind ourselves of the limitless potentials that lies within human diversity. As we celebrate these contributions, we must also reaffirm our commitment to protecting the human rights of migrants. Every migrant deserves safety, respect, and access to opportunities at home and abroad that would allow them to live a meaningful life. At IRARA, we remain steadfast in supporting policies and initiatives that uphold these fundamental principles, ensuring that all migrants, especially those returning back to their home countries, are assisted and empowered to have sustainable livelihood, as well as contribute to the economy. The theme of this year's NMD is an affirmation to the power of co-creation that strengthens partnership, share innovative solutions, and build sustainable framework for a positive future, with deeper understanding of our responsibilities, either as government, development partners, CSOs, media, the academia, researchers, or private citizens. Let us continue to work together to create a world where migrant is safe, dignified, and empowered for all. On behalf of IRARA, I extend our gratitude to the NCFMRI and partners for providing this vital platform that enables us to interrogate the issues that affect us, either as migrants or as stakeholders working for better migration outcomes. We pledge to continue to work with all relevant stakeholders to turn the aspirations and outcomes of today's dialogue into tangible actions in the coming year and beyond. With this, I say thank you all and God bless.
Thank you very much. I think we can clap a little more for him. Well, I have to bring up another person who's very important, but I also want to thank those who worked here. He's an eye doctor or an ophthalmologist, one who was quoted as first making popular the phrase, "See your eye doctor while you can still see him." If not, somebody will help you to see him. We were working at a conference very recently where we wanted to choose for Nigeria which English language was best suited for us, whether the American English or the British English. After 2 days, it was hard to pick one. Because, for instance, in Britain, they'll say extreme. In America, they'll say end. But here we'll say extreme end. In Britain, they'll say knicker. In America, they'll say short. But here we'll say short knicker. In Britain, they'll say salon. In America, they'll say barber shop. But here we'll say barbing salon. In Britain, they'll say bend. In America, they'll say corner. But here we'll say bending corner. In Britain, they'll say so. In America, they'll say therefore. But here we'll say so therefore. In Britain, they'll say still. In America, they'll say yet. But here we'll say still yet. In Britain, they'll say should. In America, they will say in case, but here we'll say should in case. In Britain, they will say henceforth. In America, they will say from now on, but here we'll say from now henceforth. In Britain, they will say reverse. In America, they will say turn back, but here we'll say reverse back. In Britain, they will say tell me the reason. In America, they will say tell me why, but here we'll say tell me the reason. Please put your hands together for yourselves. The next person I'm bringing up is a one-time member of the board of National Eye Center Kaduna, a former Honorable Commissioner for Health, Nasarawa State, and chairman of the board of National Institute for Freshwater Fishery Research, a member of many, many outstanding groups. He is and has been described as one who has in-depth training in cataract surgery and medical retina in India, but majorly celebrated as a great Josite and a fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical of Nigeria. May I therefore specially celebrate one who has served both as grassroots level and today he sits as one who represents His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, as his deputy. May I welcome His Excellency Dr. Emmanuel Akabe. Please put your hands together for him. Please, can we clap for him, please?
Please sit down, sir. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima GCON in absentia, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, GCON in absentia, distinguished Senator Ali Wadada, my own senator from my state, that we're all very proud of, other members of the National Assembly that are here, ministers, our Royal Highnesses, invited guests, my brother, Federal Commissioner on whose invitation we're all here, members of his team, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing my principal, the Executive Governor of Nassau State, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule, who would have loved to be here personally because of the personal relationship he has with the Federal Commissioner of charge of refugees and migrants, and also as a source of encouragement for one of our own that we're proud of. But he has a goodwill message already written, and I'll read his speech. It is an honor and privilege to deliver this goodwill message at the 2024 National Migration Dialogue, a platform that has become an essential vehicle for advancing discussions surrounding migration and development in Nigeria. This year's theme, Beyond Borders, Celebrating Migrants' Legacy, Protecting Their Rights, reflects a profound recognition of the invaluable contributions of migrants to our socioeconomic and cultural fabric, as well as the need to prioritize their dignity, safety, and well-being. This dialogue underscores Nigeria's leadership in addressing migration challenges and opportunities, as well as its commitment to fostering inclusive and rights-based migration policies. It provides an opportunity for stakeholders from diverse sectors to engage in meaningful deliberation on how best to harness the positive impacts of migration while addressing the vulnerabilities and challenges that migrants face. The discussions today will highlight the critical role migrants play as drivers of innovation, development, and socioeconomic transformation, whether contributing to destination countries or supporting their communities of origin. Migrants epitomize resilience and strength. At the same time, this dialogue highlights the urgent need to safeguard their rights, ensure access to vital services, and facilitate their mobility through legal and secure pathways. For Nasarawa State, migration is not just a policy concern, it is a lived experience, deeply woven into the identity of our people. Known as the home of solid minerals, Nasarawa has historically been a meeting point for diverse ethnicities and cultures, fostering an environment of tolerance and mutual respect. However, I've also seen the challenges of internally displacement arising from flooding, natural disasters, and in a few cases, conflicts within the region. Addressing these issues requires collaborative action at all levels. In line with this, I'm proud to highlight our collaboration with the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons to establish the Internal Center for Excellence for Migration and Humanitarian Development Studies at the Nassau State University. This center serves as a hub for research and capacity building, advancing our understanding of migration trends, displacement, and humanitarian responses. Furthermore, in partnership with relevant stakeholders, we are working to establish a migration observatory at the center. This observatory will serve as a critical resource for data collection, analysis, and dissemination, ensuring that migration policies and programming are rooted in evidence and aligned with global best practices. This initiative reflects Nasarawa's state's commitment to contributing to the national and regional migration agenda in a meaningful way. As Nigeria prepares to assume the chairmanship of the Rabat process, I'm confident that the recommendations from this dialogue will serve as a strategic guide for our engagement at the regional and international levels. Nasarawa State is proud to support these efforts and to see the impactful work of our son, whom we are very proud of, the Honorable Federal Commissioner of NCFRMI, Honorable Tijani Aliyu Ahmed, whose leadership continues to set a high standard for migration governance in Nigeria. In closing, I wish to express my deep appreciation to the organizers and participants for their commitment to advancing the migration dialogue. Together, let us continue to celebrate migrants' legacy, protect their rights, and build pathways for a future where migration is safe, orderly, and beneficial to all. Thank you, and I wish you all fruitful deliberations.
We sincerely appreciate you, His Excellency, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give him another round of applause? Thank you, sir. I will now invite for the next goodwill message the representative of the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome the Special Assistant Administration, Mrs. Ola Erin Folami. Please let's give her a warm applause as she steps forward.
Your Excellency, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the voice of my boss, let me adopt the existing protocols. I'm standing in on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, who is unavoidably absent today. She would have loved to be here, but due to other official assignments. And so she has asked me to deliver this goodwill message to us. And I read thus. I am pleased to address you at this significant gathering, the 10th Migration Dialogue, convening to commemorate International Migration Day. The theme, Beyond Borders, celebrating migrants' legacy, protecting their rights, reflect our collective commitment to recognizing the invaluable contributions of migrants while ensuring their rights, dignity, and safety are prioritized. Migration has always been a cornerstone of human civilization, fostering cultural exchange, economic growth, and social advancement. In Nigeria, foreign migrants have enriched our communities and driven innovation. While Nigerians abroad have significantly contributed to global economies, remitting over 20 billion annually. However, alongside these achievements, migrants, whether residing within Nigeria or representing us abroad, face challenges, including discrimination, exploitation, and limited access to essential rights and services. As Minister of Women Affairs and a former federal commissioner at the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, I am deeply aware of the compounded vulnerabilities migrant women and children face. They endure gender-based violence, restricted access to education and health care, and exploitation in informal labor markets. Globally, women constitute nearly half of the migrant population and often face systematic barriers that impede their well-being and opportunities. Addressing these challenges required targeted and deliberate actions. Today, I reaffirm the Ministry of Women Affairs' commitment to advancing policies and programs that safeguard the empower migrant women and children. Domestically, we will continue to collaborate closely with NCFRMI to uphold the rights of migrants within Nigeria. Internationally, we are engaging with global partners to advocate for the rights of Nigerians in diaspora, ensuring their efforts and contributions are acknowledged and protected. I commend NCFRMI under the able leadership of Honorable Aliyu for his unwavering dedication to advancing the rights of migrants and displaced persons. The National Migration Dialogue has proven to be a vital platform to fostering collaboration among stakeholders and crafting actionable solutions to migration challenges, both within and beyond our borders. Protecting migrants' rights demands a multi-sectoral approach. It requires access to justice, healthcare, education, and economic opportunities, while addressing harmful stereotypes and fostering inclusive policies. Upholding the dignity of migrants is not just a moral obligation, it is essential for social progress and development. Under the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the Ministry of Women Affairs remains committed to creating an inclusive Nigeria where every woman, child, and migrant is supported, valued, and protected. Whether they reside within our borders or represent Nigeria abroad, we will continue to advocate for their rights and opportunities. Today offers an opportunity to deepen partnerships, enhance dialogue, and take concrete steps to celebrate migrant legacies and safeguard their rights. Let us translate our discussions into impactful actions that uphold the principles of inclusivity and shared progress. I thank you for your attention and look forward to our continued collaboration to create a brighter future for our migrants. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ola Erin Folami, the representative of the Minister for Women Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now go on a very quick tea break. It's a walk-in tea break, so I think you can just go over there, pick your meals, and come back here. While we are doing that, I will make welcome back to the stage our talented dancers, musicians, and drummers from the Nasarawa State Council for Arts and Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, we will reconvene back very soon for the panel discussions. Thank you very much. The Council for Arts and Culture, the stage is yours.